Hi, my name is Daniel McKinley, and I am here at Zia Comics in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And today, I'm going to teach you the two-player only game Patchwork by Uwe Rosenberg.
Hey, listen!
So the way you play Patchwork is players will take alternating turns doing one of two actions. On your turn, you can either move the pawn or you could jump ahead in the turn order track. Let me show you how this turn order track works, and then we'll get back into the rest of the game. As you're going to be taking turns, you're going to be moving a number of spaces. The number of spaces are shown on each of the tiles. That is the hourglass shown here. If a player takes this tile and builds it, since it has a number 2 next to the hourglass, they will move their marker ahead 2 spaces. The number of buttons that shows here is essentially a currency. This is the cost to buy that tile. Let's say a player has began their board here. Each player will start with one board of their choosing. I'll set this aside for now. And the turn order mark in here. You will also have some buttons to use as currency. So let me go over a turn and how it works. A player could go clockwise up to any one of the next 3 tiles. Let's say they go to this tile. They remove that from the row and they place it anywhere on their player board that they choose. They pay the number of buttons shown there, so I would play 6 buttons, and I advance my marker the number of spaces shown. So 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of these patches, some of them do have buttons that are on them. The reason for this is because every time your turn order marker passes one of the buttons shown on this, then you will gain that number of buttons shown on your player board. So right now, if I pass it, I would get 2 buttons back for my personal supply. Whenever a player passes one of these single patches here, then they will get a single piece patch that they can also apply to their board. That only takes 1 space large. Players will continue doing this. Whoever is farthest back on the board takes the next turn. So yellow would be taking the next turn on this example. Once again, they could either move it forward 3 spaces, or they can jump ahead of the next player. Now you're probably wondering why you might do this. They would move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. If they do this, then they are going to take the number of spaces moved in buttons and add that to their supply. It's an easy way to get some money if you just are down on the money or you cannot afford or choose not to buy one of the tiles that are there. Players will continue adding tiles to their board however they would like, hopefully trying to get good patterns and cover up the most number of spaces. At the end of the game, each empty space that you have on your board is worth -2 buttons, and the player with the most buttons will win. Finally, there is also this 7x7 tile, and this will be worth 7 buttons to the first player who fills in an entire 7x7 section. Once again, once both players have reached the ending, you'll get one final payout from the buttons you have on your board, and the player with the most wins the game. And that is how you play Patchwork. As you can see, this game has amazing amounts of depth, very simple strategy, but you can be playing it time and time again, and the better you play it, the better your opponent's going to get. So come on by Zia Comics in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where we can show you how to play the 2-player game Patchwork.
Get nerdy with me. Tell me what game that you get on. Is it card or read? What kind of class do you play, girl? In an RPG?